Hey, all my kings and queens. I'm gonna start saying that because I feel like when I say y'all, it's a little too southern. So I feel like doing introductions like saying, "What's up, my kings and queens?" because that's where I'm trying to direct my channel to is to fellow kings and queens, kingdom minded people, as well as those seeking the kingdom. I just wanted to get this out. I have been thinking about it and thinking about it and praying about it, and God's been showing me things ever since I had to make that radical move that He told me to do. And, I always, like I said, I always pray for the Psalms 91 protection over me because anything can happen in the spirit realm. And I do feel that. So, I wanted to get on real quick before I had to go handle some other things and kind of like show you guys and tell you guys why people who have demons attached to them can really affect you, physically, mentally, spiritually. Um, it's pretty crazy how now God has literally taken the veil off of my eyes and I can see, who's who and demons and angels and, spirits and good and bad and all of that. And it's very overwhelming. It is very overwhelming. So, um, it's a little scary at times. But like I said, I know I'm protected. And so in many of my relationships that I've had that I was in trying to work towards marriage and whatnot, it was not with a equally yoked person, first of all. Second of all, it was not someone that God had, told me to be with. And third of all, they weren't really for God. They were more in the world. And therefore they took on demons and spirits that they probably didn't even know that they had, but I was able to feel it. And so just recently I found some more things out. Of course, like I said, when you break up with somebody, a lot of things can still happen in the end, like in like aftermath, I guess you can say, that you did not know about during the whole relationship and whatnot. But yeah, I've been stolen from recently. My accounts have been used by my ex to be able to watch movies, or he's gotten into my almost into my bank stuff. I had to like change passwords and whatever it was. But I know that this person, unfortunately, he has a demon attached to him, or he's just a whole warlock and is doing this stuff on purpose. And I kind of see, because I see the Facebook profiles that he's posting and doing, and it's all about God, and it says, he's smiling, of course, he talks about God, but unfortunately he has a darker side to him that I know about. And so that right there literally drained me in the relationship because he still was holding on to those things. He had that demon still in him. Um, because he was not putting God first and rebuking those, spirits out of him because he didn't know how. I kept doing it. However, like I said before, when you cast out demons out of somebody, you got to be careful because, seven more can come in, 10 more can come in and, overtake that vessel. So, it's very difficult for a person who is with the Lord being around people who are not, or in a relationship with someone who's not, because it can be physically, mentally, spiritually draining. Like I remember what I was doing before we had met, and yeah, I was struggling. Yeah, I had my own struggles, but I still didn't feel the way I felt until I didn't the way that I felt was different than how I felt in the relationship. And at first, yeah, you got the honeymoon phase. You got the honeymoon phase where everything is just all, rainbows and puppy dogs and everything and all cutesy and all that. But then you get past that first year, that second year, and some things start to fall off, which, you know, that's when things start to come to light in people who are narcissists, or they are somebody who's been doing this before and know what they're doing. And it's kind of crazy because not very many people understand why people act certain ways, and it's because of the demons attached to them. And knowing that I was in a relationship with someone who was full of demons or demonic, or not putting God first and allowing the enemy to use them, it it brought me down to my knees. It it almost took me out. And that's what can happen to a believer who is with a non-believer, or a follower who is with a non-follower, an obedient person with a non-obedient person. That person can end up like draining you and using you and whatnot. So that's kind of what happened. I felt like I was played. I was played. I'm gonna come out with it right now. I know the tactics of my ex now. And I want to warn other women now that you ladies need to be careful, because that is why we take people to God. Because you don't know who these people are until possibly after the damage has been done. And that's what hurts the most, is that when you've put in your time and your efforts and your love and all of that, it just gets trampled on in the end by this person who is a narcissist, or who is choosing, to do things they're not supposed to be doing, which is cheating and lying and stealing and whatnot. And so I knew towards the end of the relationship that there was a lot of, things going on under my nose that I didn't quite pinpoint, didn't have the evidence for until after, when I cut off my internet and got new internet, or when I get notifications on my email that people have logged into my accounts and whatever. So, and I know that it's nobody else because it hasn't ever really happened in so long, like a decade or more. So I knew that it was him doing these things. And it sucks having to do this. It really sucks having to like shed light on somebody, because you want that person to do right. You want that person to seek Christ and really change their ways for the better. But we can't force anyone. We can only lead the horse to the water. And so here I am right now again. The Lord, I tried doing this video earlier, and some things happened. I had to leave and cut it off and delete it and start over. Because the enemy doesn't want me to have a voice. He doesn't want me to shed light on what is wrong. He wants me to stay in the closet. He wants me to stay isolated, stay quiet. And so that's what I cannot be doing, because then it gives power to the enemy, and it's not glorifying the Lord. It's not using the Lord's power for the good, which is to expose the enemy, even if it's, of course, like I said, attached to other people. And I remember towards the end of the relationship, when I was already like mentally just, I'm done, I'm drained, I can't take another morning where I'm walking on eggshells. I can't take another day where you come home and I don't know, like you lost your phone or whatever happened and you didn't contact me all day, like things like that. It just showed more and more that we were not supposed to be together. And then seeing the other things that have happened now afterwards, like like a Hulu account being made in his email, and like I find out after I cancel everything. It's just I was paying for it, yet I wasn't using it because I don't watch Hulu. I don't have time for that, or I don't have any interest in that. And so it just amazes me how people can really put on a facade, a mask, a front for so long until it falls off, and then the person sees, and then that's the end of it. And it's just a pattern. It's just a pattern. They'll go to the next person, and to the next person, and to the next person, and do the same thing. I realize that it's not just me that this happened to. It happened to his other two, kids' moms, how he acted and just left them. And it's sad. It really actually it is. It is very sad to not stand up and take that responsibility being a father. So, and instead choosing the streets and choosing alcohol or drugs or other women and whatnot. So, um, I do pray for him. I do. I pray for him all the time, but I can't sit here and pretend like he's still not harassing me because there's still things that are being done 7 months later, and it's insane. So, um, that's how I know that I'm not. I was just a number, I was just another number for him, another person that he got to use for the time and resources. And it was all witchcraft and demonic spirits and love spells, which is warlocks and witchcrafts, And I felt it toward the end. Like, I would see how he'd look at me, and I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? And I realized that it was him trying to, ignite his love spell again over me and whatnot. And it can be strong. It can be very strong. And so I need to pause this for a second to be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Love spells. That is another demonic attempt to control another person. And I felt that at the end. I was just like, wow, like this is demonic. This is demonic. And then when God was confirming to me that I needed to end this, I needed to stop because they weren't going to change. He wasn't changing. And now I see even more weird stuff happening, and it's just like a warning I'm trying to give you guys is discernment is something we have to learn. It is not something that God will just drop in our laps and we know how to use it. I'm still learning the power of discernment. I'm still growing, and I may not get it right all the time, and I may, mess my words up, because of everything that goes in my mind, all the stuff that I have to think about, that the enemy throws at me, and the stuff that I'm trying to do with the Lord and pray for my family and everything. It kind of like gets in the way, and it clashes, and it's just it can cause a lot of turmoil. And so if you don't have somebody that is your friend or your parent or whatever, who you're with, your spouse, that they're not peaceful, they're toxic, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. And then in the end, you're going to realize that you guys were never supposed to be together. It was, another form of witchcraft. And I'm very glad that I did the fasting. So that's key. In order to break the witchcraft off of you is that you have to do certain fasts. You got to do a dry fast, a water fast, and then a Daniel fast. I did a dry fast. A water fast. I did a water fast for 3 days, and then I did a Daniel fast, a 10-day Daniel fast after that. So that's why I had seen so much clarity, and God took me to the next level and told me what to do. My next instruction, which I did, I obeyed. And that is why I'm kind of going through a little bit of remembrance and revelations. And so it can be a little overwhelming at times. Because, I am by myself. I am, the people who are chosen, who are doing this, we're typically alone. And I didn't realize that until this year. We are alone for a reason. God, he just stops certain things from happening because we are focusing on our assignment. So he's stopping like whatever the enemy has been trying to throw at us. And at times we don't even know, we don't even realize it. Don't even realize that he's doing that for us. We just get like a little bit of a headache or um, some fatigue or nausea or anxiety, that uneasy feeling. But the battle is his. The battle is his. So if you find yourself with somebody who, maybe uh, have a demonic spirit attached to them, and you don't know what to do, you got to take it to God. You got to pray. You got to fast for yourself and guard yourself. And if you can, unfortunately, you have to cut the person off. You have to walk away and let God deliver them. They need deliverance. And unfortunately, if they don't want that deliverance, we can't be standing in the way, continually rebuking spirits that they keep allowing to come in, because it's going to hurt us. It could, destroy us. And that's when we become martyrs and we die for the sake of the Lord. But yeah, it's out there. These spirits are so strong and so heavy and so like quick, so I don't want anybody getting caught up in these spirits because it's heavy right now. Seek the Lord, seek Christ, seek what he wants you to be doing. Don't even worry about, people pleasing right now. I mean, yeah, we have friends and family we can be there for, but if it's physically draining you and stealing your peace and your joy, then it's not something that you need to be hearing. Give it to God and then move away from that, because they're going to suck everything out of you and you're going to be drained and you're going to feel sick all the time. You're not going to want to do anything. Trust me, I've been in that hole. And I am not going to do it again. No. So you guys, trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord and what he says, because it's real. There are demonic spirits out here. There are people who are just being used by the enemy left and right. So guard your hearts. Put on the whole armor of Christ and, prepare yourselves against the enemy so that you can't be deceived. Because I was deceived. I'm going to be honest. I was deceived thinking that, I'm going to have this wonderful relationship because I'm doing the right thing. I'm getting married and, I'm trying to, be with one person, be faithful, committed, loyal, have that forgiveness and all of that stuff. But if it is not something that God has told you to do, then you're taking your own life into your hands again. You're taking the wheel back. You're taking the reins back. So yeah, let go of those reins. Give them to the Lord. And just rebuke any spirits. Just tell them to leave. Tell them to flee. You have that power and authority in Christ. So I hope you guys have a blessed Sunday. I got to go finish some things and probably going to go to bed early. Yep, because I got a big day tomorrow. So, peace.